Joe Flacco, out of nowhere, traded from the Browns to the Bengals, the in-division trade. It seems like to be the Bengals starting quarterback as soon as this week against your squad, the Green Bay Packers, Smalls, who, oh, by the way, he was the starting quarterback for the Browns in that upset win over the Packers. Nobody's sitting here and giving him all the credit in the world for that win, but he did.
Still familiar with the opponent.
Exactly right. Joe Flacco in a 6th to Cincy for a 5th. Dylan Gabriel is now officially the 1. Shedeur Sanders is now officially the 2. Smalls, your reaction when you heard this yesterday?
Well, as you mentioned, Adam Schefter kind of had some breadcrumbs yesterday. I asked him about the Bengals quarterback situation because a week prior, I had asked how convicted they were on Jake Browning, and he said they're sticking with him. Then they had another loss, and Adam says they're less committal on him. It seems like Kevin Stefanski is wavering a bit when it comes to Joe Flacco. He then tells us to expect 10 to 12 trades from now until November. So something was cooking. And if you're the Bengals, you need an upgrade at the position. You have to act with a sense of urgency. The division is wonky right now. You paid a lot of these guys. Clearly, Jake Browning is not the answer. And in terms of EPA per dropback, the Bengals are actually upgrading, from the worst quarterback in the NFL to the second worst quarterback in the NFL.
So they did upgrade.
So you know what? Progress. I could barely get the words out because I was so thrilled for them that they upgraded from the worst quarterback in the NFL to the second worst quarterback in the NFL if you look at certain metrics, CC.
Packers, watch out. Packers, watch out. I'm just saying. Joe Flacco clipped you once. You better hope he doesn't play this week.
If he does it again.
Then what?
Man, I picked the Green Bay Packers in my survival when I saw this trade. I had to, because I was like, there's no chance that Joe Flacco beats the Packers not once but twice in less than a month span with the 2 Ohio teams. There's just no chance that happens, as bad as Ohio pro football has been this season. But here's the thing. If you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you had to do something, because you can't keep selling Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson that Jake Browning is the best we can do at quarterback. I mean, in the third quarter of that Lions game this past Sunday, Jamar Chase was tied for the team lead in tackles. That is not hyperbolic. That is a fact. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, you had to do something at the quarterback position, and I think that this was probably one of the better moves that they could have made. You end up giving up Joe Flacco in a 6th-round pick. You get a 5th-round pick in return. I mean, the Cleveland Browns get a 5th-round pick in return. It's a flyer is what you're doing. You're trying to see if you can capture lightning in a bottle, similarly to what the Cleveland Browns got a few years ago when Joe Flacco came off the couch and led them on a playoff run. I don't think that's going to happen here. I think Cincinnati is a flawed roster in terms of how they're built. But Joe Flacco is an upgrade when it comes to competency at the quarterback position.
So that's the Cincinnati part, right? They technically, by letter of the law, by the numbers, upgraded at the quarterback position, and they probably upgraded in terms of, like, Joe Flacco will know what to do with 2 elite-level wide receivers, even if it's just
throw the ball deep.
I know I'm going to chuck the ball up there.
Just throw the ball deep and see what happens.
Right? Okay? The Brown side of it is fascinating. So, CC, you said all offseason, let the 2 young guys go at it. Let them compete. It doesn't matter which one. Make one of them your guy. And if you somehow hit on one of these 2, you have 2 first-rounders next year not needing a quarterback. That is the dream scenario for any team that a building team, not the Chiefs, but you get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So Gabriel 1, Shedeur 2. Shedeur was making an appearance yesterday at a car dealership, and Fox 8 News in Cleveland was there. Good job by them, by the way. That's how you do it. Go find the guys that you want to talk to.
Yeah.
And they went and they talked to Shedeur and got his reaction to now Joe Flacco being traded and him elevating to number 2 quarterback.
What did you think about the news today about Joe Flacco getting traded to Cincinnati?
Oh, Joe Flacco getting traded, he was definitely somebody I leaned on for wisdom, and I feel like he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot while my time being here in Cleveland and his time being here in Cleveland. So now, everybody has their own destinies and have their own plans they have in life, so I'm just happy for him.
Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah, I seen him in the facility. I seen him.
Before or after the news?
Yeah, after for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he told me, I'm like, dang, that happened quick. Like, that was crazy.
Okay, I want to just point one thing out.
He's over there on his day off.
Well, that's a good one. That's where I was going. No, that's where I was going. I was going to say,
That's important to know.
Especially when preparation is in question.
I was loud about his silence. I didn't like the mime thing, right? So if I'm going to be critical of that, I want to be fair. That's a perfect answer to when a teammate is traded and you're asked about it, and it literally has nothing to do with you, but you made it a perfect answer. This guy helped me. He helped my development. I saw him. I thank him. I'm happy for him. Perfect answer from Shedeur.
He passes the Evan Cohen test, because that's what we always do, is we have you mimic the press conference and what you think the right answer would be.
Well, if I'm going to be loud about the negative, I have to be equally as loud about the positive. And it's not going to, that cut is not going to garner as much attention as the mime ridiculousness from a week ago, but he deserves credit for answering that perfectly. Now, does this mean he's more likely to play?
Of course it does.
He moves up in the depth chart.
Well, there's a reason I'm asking that question. I did not think about this until yesterday. This way. Emmett Golden, ESPN Cleveland, and our teammate here at ESPN Radio on game night said, I feel now more than ever like Deshaun Watson actually may have a chance to play again for the Cleveland Browns. They have one less quarterback. Bailey Zappi is the practice squad veteran third-string guy. If these guys are not that good, hypothetically, or they don't feel comfortable going to Shedeur, is Watson now back on the table?
Well, I'm not going to dismiss the Deshaun Watson of it all. I do think he's in play, and I think that's more of a conversation to have in November and December than one that we have in October. But not to gloss over what this means for Shedeur. Now he's the number 2 quarterback. He's one hit away from going in the game. Mm-hmm. And so when you ask the question, is he more likely to play? The obvious answer is yes. We were sitting here yesterday having a conversation around whether or not we'd ever see Shedeur this season based on what Dylan Gabriel showed against the Minnesota Vikings and Joe Flacco being the number 2 quarterback. But when I saw this news from the Browns' perspective yesterday, the first thing I thought was, why is Shedeur Sanders good enough to be the number 2 quarterback this week, but he wasn't good enough to be the number 2 quarterback last week? What was the football reason that you had him third string when you decided to elevate Dylan Gabriel and give him his first NFL start? To me, that's the part that I couldn't square. Because if you sold me on the bit about Joe Flacco being more equipped to go into the game without taking a lot of reps throughout the course of the week with the game plan, from a mental standpoint, that makes sense because Joe Flacco has 2 decades worth of NFL experience. If you got to tap him on the shoulder mid-game because things have gone off the rails, he would be better equipped to do that than Shedeur Sanders.
Sure.
But that logic goes out the window when you decide to trade Joe Flacco this week and elevate Shedeur to the number 2 quarterback. I just don't understand what Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are thinking in terms of the rhyme and reason and why they're handling the quarterback situation this way. I mean, you got a better chance at getting the Trump tax return, figuring out what the Cleveland Browns are trying to do at the quarterback position. And so that's why I think this situation could be volatile for Kevin Stefanski. He's got to be careful in terms of how he handles this now, because there's a ton of pressure on him to make sure that he gets the most amount of information for Andrew Berry when it comes to what they need to do at the quarterback position long term.
We will continue that conversation because there's a lot to that, and I'm sure some of the betting lines, we talked about the favorites now with the Packers and the Bengals this week in terms of going all in on the Packers. This trade could absolutely impact over-under for the Bengals.